Hello biology explorers, welcome back to Biology Explorer channel. Now today we are going to look at the breakdown of reproduction as part of item 6 and 7 in a simple and easy way, so you can understand it clearly and be able to answer Uneb exam questions with the confidence. Now remember, item 6 and item 7, these are section B numbers. They make up the second part 2 of section what? Section B. You either choose one number but not both. So make sure you stay or you watch this video up to the end, because I will be showing you how to apply the knowledge of reproduction in certain scenario questions like this one. Now this number comes mostly on item 6. This time allow me take you through the item. They are saying Martin, Flavia and Sandra are aged 7, 15 and 17 years respectively. One day Flavia observed that her breasts had increased in size and also noted widening of her hips. A day later, Sandra noted growth of hair under the armpits. However, Martin had not experienced any weird body changes. Now, after reading, analyzing, and underlining the important keywords or statements in the scenario, now by the time you read the task, you should have got a clue about what? About what the scenario wanted. Now, when you look at this question is mixed with the growth and development. It is amalgamated in what? In reproduction. Okay, let's go to the task. Now, when you look at the task, so when you look at the task, they are saying explain the causes of the challenges experienced by Flavia and Sandra. So when you look at the number of, now for you to be able to identify these challenges experienced by Flavia and Sandra, you have to know they have given you, actually we are going to base on the what? On the ages. So they told you that Martin was only 7 years. But Flavia was 15 and Sandra was 17 years. Now these two girls are the ones which undergo through the what? The changes, or they were almost at puberty. Now let's explain the causes of the challenges experienced by Flavia and Sandra. So you should not forget that Flavia in the scenario was 15 and Sandra was what? 17 years. So Flavia, one of the answers we are going to begin with, that Flavia and Sandra are undergoing puberty. So when Sandra and Flavia undergoes puberty, this means that the female hormones, we can talk about oestrogen and progesterone, from the ovaries are being what? Are being stimulated. Now these hormones are the ones which causes actually the changes which are experienced by Flavia and what? And Sandra. Now before we can proceed, they have talked about oestrogen. We all know that oestrogen is responsible for secondary sexual characteristics, mainly in what? In males. And it causes the following. We can talk about deepening of the voice, growth of pubic hair, enlargement of the penis, onset of wet dreams, growth of beards, growth of hair in the armpit. So all of those ones are secondary sexual characteristics in males, which are caused by oestrogen. So in females mainly, here we are going to look at progesterone. Now this progesterone, it is also responsible for secondary characteristics in what? In females. Now it causes softening of the voice, enlargement of breasts, onset of menstruation, enlargement of the reproductive organs, growth of pubic hair, and the growth of hair in the armpits. So all those changes are as a result of what? Hormones. And these hormones we have talked about are estrogen and the progesterone. Now, back to our question. They are saying that that Flavia and Sandra are undergoing puberty. So the female hormones such as estrogen and progesterone from ovaries are being what? Stimulated. Then these hormones caused, remember now they have specified for Flavia and Sandra. So these are females. Now we are going to be the first one we shall begin with is breast enlargement, then widening of what? Hips, then growth of armpit and the pubic hair, then you have onset of what? Onset of menstruation. We can proceed. I think I've talked about those two hormones properly. Then they are saying Martin is still a child, as you can see here. Martin is still a child in pre-puberty and has not experienced hormonal changes. Therefore, he does not experience any change. If they talk about Martin, so Martin is not yet at that age of puberty, because when you look at the ages Martin had only 7 ages according to the scenario. Now from there we can proceed. They are saying, let's go to part B. Now in part B they are saying describe the characteristics of the stages of development that Martin, Flavia and Sandra belong. Now remember that stage of development is the rapid physical growth. Now development of remember these people were undergoing secondary sexual characteristics. Now they are saying that development of sexual secondary characteristics such as the growth of pubic hair, hips, breasts, enlargement of the breasts, penis and testes, etc. Then there is also onset of fertility or ability to do what? To reproduce. Then the other one we can talk about emotional and psychological changes such as mood swings, self-awareness and many other things. Now they are saying, what advice can you give to Flavia and Sandra to cope up with the changes they are going through? Now, when you are answering this question, what advice can you? I request you to begin by, actually you should begin like this. I advise Flavia and Sandra to maintain good personal hygiene to control sweat and body and body odor. Then too, you can say, I advise Flavia and Sandra to eat a balanced diet to support their growth. If this lesson was helpful, please do not forget to give it a thumb, subscribe and share with the classmates. I sign out.